A brush with fate. Once upon a time, in the enchanting village of Willowbrook, where vibrant flowers danced in the gentle breeze and the sweet scent of jasmine lingered in the air, a spirited woman named Eleanor Parker was awakening to the symphony of life again. Recently celebrated for her remarkable kindness and warmth, Eleanor, a 60-year-old widow, filled her days with art and laughter, but a lingering sense of adventure beckoned her to embrace something new. Her silver hair framed her face beautifully, while her twinkling blue eyes sparkled with unspoken dreams waiting for a chance to flourish. One sunny morning, as Eleanor ambled toward the community center, her leather satchel filled with sketchbooks and colored pencils, she came across a group gathered at the village square. Curiosity piqued, she approached them, only to discover that a new resident had recently moved to Willowbrook, a charming man named Harold Thompson. In his early 60s, Harold shared stories of his travels and adventures, captivating the audience with his magnetic energy. Eleanor felt the weight of her past slip away as Harold's deep laughter echoed through the air, drawing her in like a moth to a flame. His hazel eyes, filled with warmth and mischief, ignited a sense of excitement she hadn't felt in years. She felt an undeniable connection despite the age difference. Her heart fluttered, a sensation long thought abandoned. As the village celebrators welcomed Harold, Eleanor summoned her courage. "What a lively crowd, isn't it?" she inquired, her voice soft yet filled with curiosity. Harold turned, his eyes widening with surprise. "Indeed, it is. I would say it rivals the grand marketplaces in Bali." Eleanor chuckled, "I've always wanted to see Bali. What brought you to our little corner of the world?" "Sometimes, you find more than adventure by choosing a quieter path," Harold replied with a hint of mystery in his tone, leaving her intrigued. As the two conversed, Eleanor learned that Harold was an avid historian. A man rich in stories and experiences who had finally decided to settle down after years of travel. It was clear that beneath the playful facade lay a man who had weathered love and loss, just as she had. Before long, they discovered a shared passion for art and the simple joys of life, bonding over tales of nostalgia and dreams long put on hold. The two began to spend more time together. Over the next few weeks, they explored Willowbrook, each shared adventure emboldening Eleanor to embrace the beauty of life's fleeting moments. Their starlit strolls, punctuated by laughter, turned into art excursions, and soon they found themselves lost amid the fragrant meadows, sketching the charming landscape and leaving their worries behind. One detail struck Eleanor about Harold: he was not only engaging but also a patient listener. In their conversations, he encouraged her to speak about her late husband, someone she had locked away in a treasure chest of memories. As her fingers danced across the paper, her heart felt lighter. Harold seemed to understand the weight of her past while nurturing her desire for exploration. Then one afternoon, while they painted a breathtaking sunset at Sunset Hill, Harold's presence sparked something new within Eleanor that awoke long-hidden dreams. "Do you ever think about what it would be like to start anew?" he asked, his voice sincere. Eleanor paused, taking a deep breath as she let the warmth of the sun wash over her. "I've been so fearful of change," she admitted. "But with you, it feels different. Liberating." "Embrace it, Eleanor," Harold encouraged, his hazel eyes locking onto hers with unwavering sincerity. "There's beauty in the unknown, and we deserve to chase it." That evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, they shared vulnerable moments, and Eleanor felt something shift deep within her. A thrill that whispered of possibilities yet to come. As they stood together, the colors painted across the sky felt like a promise of renewal. For the first time in years, Eleanor dared to dream of new chapters, inspired by the adventurer beside her. Days soon turned into weeks, filled with shared laughter and blossoming friendship. But in the back of her mind, Eleanor wrestled with the fear of what lay ahead, a cold grip of trepidation that threatened to paralyze her heart. She had felt so alive with Harold, yet the lingering shadows of her past whispered questions she struggled to confront. What would happen if she truly opened her heart again? Yet, as she basked in the warmth of their companionship, the touch of Harold's hand during their quiet moments reassured her. She understood that life, much like art, was all about taking risks and making bold strokes across the canvas of time, even if it meant venturing into uncertain territory. In the tranquil embrace of Willowbrook, Eleanor took a deep breath, leaning into the promise of this new friendship, aware that every stroke she made carried the potential for beauty. With Harold by her side, perhaps fate had indeed brushed against her, stirring the colors of a new beginning in the vast canvas of her life. The unlikely spark. Eleanor's days became tinged with an excitement she hadn't felt in years, all thanks to her burgeoning friendship with Harold. The village of Willowbrook pulsed with life as spring breathed new energy into every flower and tree, echoing the awakening in Eleanor's heart. Each passing moment with Harold was a step into a playful reverie, where laughter replaced loneliness and vibrant memories took the place of sorrow. One afternoon, as the sun painted the sky in soft hues of lavender and gold, Eleanor found herself preparing for another outing with Harold. She thought carefully about her outfit, choosing a flowy sundress that swayed lightly with every movement. Its bright colors reflected her newfound brightness, and she couldn't help but smile at her reflection. "It's just a walk," she reassured herself, though her heart fluttered with anticipation. They decided to explore the enchanted forest, a magical place just beyond the edges of the village, where ancient trees stood tall, and sunlight dappled the ground like confetti. The air was crisp, filled with the whispers of nature and the delightful sounds of rustling leaves. Eleanor found herself captivated by how the forest breathed around them, enveloping their laughter and conversations in a warm embrace. As they walked, the conversations flowed effortlessly like the little stream they crossed. They shared stories of their pasts. Eleanor spoke of her late husband, the love they shared, and how he had encouraged her artistic endeavors. Harold listened intently, sharing bits of his own past, a love that had come and gone like mist. He spoke candidly, his voice warm with compassion, encouraging Eleanor to speak freely about her memories. Their laughter danced among the trees, resonating with newfound freedom. Harold's steady presence eased the weight of Eleanor's heart, creating a sacred space where she could let her guard down. She had always worn a veil of caution since her husband's passing, but Harold's kindness cracked that protective shell, allowing a spark of vulnerability to seep through. As they stumbled upon a clearing, a golden ray of sunlight broke through the canopy, a perfect spot to take a moment and simply be. Harold cleared a patch of fallen leaves, gesturing for Eleanor to sit. "Shall we capture this moment?" he suggested, pulling out his sketchbook. "I've seen artists paint the moments in life, but what if we sketch them ourselves?" Eleanor laughed softly, her spirit soaring. "You want to sketch us?" Her cheeks flushed with a mix of surprise and delight. "Why not? We could immortalize our happiness, this unlikely spark." His smile was infectious, and Eleanor felt a rush of warmth that danced in her chest. The pair began skimming through their sketchbooks, each showing the other their work. Harold revealed his artistic talents with lines flowing effortlessly from his hand, while Eleanor demonstrated her knack for capturing emotions with vibrant colors. The two became entwined in the rhythm of creation, exchanging playful banter and gentle nudges as they immersed themselves in their art. As they worked, Eleanor felt a powerful connection ignite between them. With every shared glance, every quiet laugh, the spark she had felt deep within her grew brighter. Harold's artistic rhythm matched her own, and she found herself leaning into his presence, the atmosphere thick with unspoken words. Hours flew by in a delightful blur until they realized that twilight had settled around them. The forest transformed into a dreamy space, the hues of the sky mingling with the shadows of the trees. When their sketches were complete, Harold turned to Eleanor, his gaze warm and contemplative. "I think we've captured something beautiful today." Eleanor looked down at her drawing, a lively representation of their laughter amidst the trees. "I feel as though we've painted more than just a moment," she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. "It's like we've captured the essence of our friendship." As twilight wrapped the world in a gentle embrace, Harold leaned in slightly, an invitation resting in his gaze. "You know," he began, a soft smile gracing his lips, "there's something extraordinary about what we have. It feels like a chance at something new." Eleanor's heart raced. She hadn't contemplated the possibility of romance. Her heart had been tenderly guarded. Yet now, it seemed the universe conspired to open doors to fresh beginnings. Cautiously, she whispered back, "I feel it too." In that enchanting moment, with the forest humming with life, laughter echoed, and the stars began to peek into their haven. Eleanor took a quiet breath, her heart full of tingling anticipation for what might blossom between them. Just as Harold was about to respond, a sudden flurry of movement nearby startled them. A pair of rabbits dashed past, drawing their attention and causing them both to erupt in laughter. Eleanor seized the moment, her fear diffusing into joy. She placed her hand gently on Harold's, and in the simplicity of that shared touch, their unspoken connection deepened, a spark igniting in the stillness of the forest. As stars shimmered above, Eleanor realized that she was ready to embrace whatever came next. The warmth of Harold's hand against hers ignited a fire within, a flame of hope. Together, they had painted an exquisite moment, and perhaps, just perhaps, they were on the verge of creating a new masterpiece together. In the chapters of their lives, this was only the beginning. Whispers of change. As life unfolded in the radiant embrace of spring, the village of Willowbrook echoed with vibrant colors and laughter, a perfect backdrop for Eleanor's journey into the unfamiliar territory of newfound connection. Each day with Harold deepened her sense of belonging and ignited aspirations she had long forgotten. Yet, even amidst this blossoming friendship, whispers of change began to creep into Eleanor's heart, carrying both promise and trepidation. It was on a Tuesday morning when the unexpected news struck. Eleanor was sitting in her sunlit kitchen, sketching wildflowers that swayed gently outside her window, when her doctor's phone call shattered the calm. "I'm afraid I have some surprising news for you, Eleanor." The doctor's voice was steady, but only after the words sank in did the world around her start to blur. Pregnancy at her age? The concept seemed both unbelievable and terrifying. Eleanor's hands trembled, her pencil clattering onto the table as she struggled to process the revelation. With a mixture of disbelief and wonder, she thought of new life, a small heart beating inside her, and the profound impact it would have on her life. The weight of her circumstances collided with the thrilling possibility of motherhood once more. Pacing the kitchen, she wrestled with fear. How would she manage this? What would the village think? Would Harold still want to be a part of her life, or would this trajectory turn their blossoming friendship into something complicated? Questions clouded her mind, and anxiety coiled around her heart like a vine. The sun streamed through her windows, bringing warmth but also a stark reminder of change. She needed to talk to Harold, she needed to hear his thoughts on the matter. But the very thought of burdening him with such an enormous announcement filled her with dread. What if this drove him away? Yet, what if he embraced it? Determined to confront her feelings, she made her way to the community center that afternoon, where Harold often volunteered. The familiar walls draped in cheerful colors felt inviting but overwhelming. In the bustling kitchen, where laughter and chatter filled the air, Eleanor spotted Harold washing dishes. As if sensing her gaze, he looked up, eyebrows raising in joyful surprise. "Eleanor, what a delightful surprise," he exclaimed, setting down the dishes and wiping his hands on a towel. The light in his eyes immediately warmed her heart, yet it didn't quell her anxiety. "Harold, her voice caught in her throat, words refusing to surface. "Come help me with this before I drown in suds," he offered playfully, leading her to the dish rack. They worked side by side, the rhythmic clinking of plates soothing Eleanor's racing thoughts. The small act served as an anchor in the swirling sea of her emotions. After a few moments filled with comfortable silence, she turned to him, the weight of her news heavy on her shoulders. "Harold, can we talk? I have something important to share." "Of course," he replied, his expression turning earnest. "Is everything all right?" As they moved to a quieter corner of the community center, Eleanor's heart raced. She could feel the steady thrum of uncertainty in her chest, a reminder of the gravity of what she was about to share. She took a deep breath, her voice trembling slightly. "I received news from my doctor today. I'm going to have a baby." The air seemed to shift around them, and a moment of silence stretched between them, heavy with the weight of her revelation. Harold's eyes widened, surprise, joy, and concern flickered across his face. "A baby?" he echoed, his voice filled with wonder. A small part of Eleanor plummeted at his stunned reaction. "I know it sounds impossible, but it's true. I'm frightened, Harold. I don't know how to navigate this, especially at my age. Will you be there for me?" Harold stepped closer, his presence reassuring. The gentle warmth radiating from him felt like a lifeline. "Eleanor, this is beautiful. It's a miracle." He paused and took a deep breath, searching for the right words. "I imagine you're feeling overwhelmed. But I want you to know I will stand by you, no matter what." Relief washed over Eleanor, chasing away the shadows. She had long feared that her situation would drive a wedge between them, but here he was, pulling her closer into the light. They embraced, holding on tightly, as if to reinforce their bond amidst the uncertain landscape ahead. I've wanted something more after losing my husband, she confessed, her voice softer now. This all feels so unexpected. What if I'm not ready? Life is often unexpected, Harold replied, gently lifting her chin to meet his eyes. But perhaps it's during these moments we find our strength. You've already displayed so much resilience, and I believe you'll embrace this new chapter with grace. The conversation flowed seamlessly, moment by moment transforming her fears into aspirations. They spoke of dreams, of nurturing life, and the possibility of building a family together, even if the path ahead was steeped in challenges. The sun began to dip low in the sky outside, painting the room in golden hues as they laughed and cried, sharing the burdens and joys of what was to come. Eleanor, I might not have all the answers, but I want to be there for every part of this journey, Harold added, his sincerity warm and bright. Together, we'll navigate this and make it beautiful. As Eleanor wiped tears of joy from her cheeks, she felt a wave of gratitude. She had embarked on this journey feeling alone. Now, she realized she'd forged a partnership in both friendship and possibility. The moments they shared diversified from art and laughter to visions of their new future. Whispers of change that had initially frightened Eleanor transformed into a symphony of hope. Side by side, they envisioned a life filled with laughter, creativity, and perhaps even a family. Together, they stood on the precipice of the remarkable journey ahead, holding hands as they embraced the winds of change, their hearts intertwined. Hearts in harmony. The vibrant spring of Willowbrook blossomed into a lovely May afternoon, filling Eleanor Parker's heart with a melody of hope. Wrapped in a soft, flowing dress that danced playfully around her legs, she wandered through her garden, contemplating the changes that lay ahead. The flowers were in full bloom, petals bursting in shades of lavender, yellow, and blue, as though nature itself celebrated her impending motherhood. Yet, beneath that facade of joy, a flutter of uncertainty whispered in her mind. After sharing the news of her pregnancy with Harold, Eleanor felt a heavy weight lift. His unwavering support provided a blanket of warmth during a time when fear had almost suffocated her spirit. But now, she was keenly aware of the journey ahead, the challenges they might face together, especially in a village that had long since come to terms with her past. The doorbell rang, pulling her from her thoughts. Eleanor's heart leaped as she opened the door to reveal Harold, standing there with an infectious smile and a bouquet of daisies, their bright faces seeming to mirror her own excitement. "Surprise!" he exclaimed, holding the flowers out towards her. "I thought a little cheer was in order to celebrate this new chapter." "They're beautiful, Harold." "Thank you," Eleanor replied, accepting the bouquet, her heart swelling with affection. She inhaled the soft scent of the flowers, their brightness sending warmth through her veins. "Please come in." As they settled into her cozy living room, surrounded by art and remnants of laughter, Eleanor could feel the comfort of their companionship wash over her. Over cups of chamomile tea, perfect for soothing nerves, they talked about everything and nothing. Harold spoke animatedly about his explorations in history, his passions spilling forth like color from a painter's brush. "Did you know the ancient Greeks had a concept called philoxenia?" he mused, his eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "It means friend to a stranger, and it embodies the spirit of hospitality. Isn't that beautiful?" Eleanor nodded, her heart warming at the thought. "Your words evoke such an inspiring image. Sometimes it feels as though our spirits are intertwined in this inviting idea, like we've taken this leap together, welcoming the stranger that is the future." Their laughter echoed through the room, and Eleanor could feel the harmony of their connection blossom like the daisies. Yet, as the conversation shifted to the challenges she might face, she sensed a growing apprehension within herself. "Harold, I'm grateful that you're here," she started cautiously. "But I can't help but wonder about our future. There will be struggles. What if the village doesn't accept this? What if they see me as a novelty, a joke?" Harold listened intently, his expression serious yet supportive. "Eleanor, every journey is filled with uncertainties. There may be whispers, but your strength and resilience have already proven indispensable. Remember, it's not the whispers around you that define your worth, it's how you embrace who you are and what you desire." Taking heart from his comforting words, she felt as if a layer of her fears began to peel away. "You make it sound so simple," Eleanor admitted, though doubts lingered. "Life is seldom simple," he replied with a gracious smile. "But we can create harmony through love. allowing every note, every challenge, to become a part of our melody. With each tick of the clock on the wall, Eleanor's emotions shifted with newfound courage. "You think we can harmonize our lives?" she asked playfully, her gaze brightening. "My unpredictable rhythms with your steady beat, both of us dancing to this tune of unexpected parenthood?" "Absolutely." Harold laughed, the sound wrapping around her like a warm embrace. "I am here for the crescendo and the soft notes alike. Together, we'll compose a duet that reflects the beauty of our aspirations." They talked for hours, intertwining dreams of parenthood with laughter and a sprinkle of playful banter. Harold shared colorful stories about his travels, filling the air with vibrant imagery and delightful anecdotes. Each tale drew Eleanor deeper into a sense of joy and belonging. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a golden hue across the room, Eleanor reached for Harold's hand, intertwining their fingers. The simple gesture was electric, resonating deeply within her, an affirmation of everything they had begun to build together. "Thank you for the flowers, Harold, and for being my philoxenia," she said softly, her voice imbued with genuine gratitude. "This journey into motherhood doesn't seem as daunting with you by my side." "We'll navigate this together," he replied, his voice firm yet tender. "Your past may have shaped you, but it doesn't have to define your future. We will welcome every moment that comes our way, uncertain, beautiful, or challenging." As their hands lingered together, Eleanor was struck by the idea that perhaps love could be the balm that soothed her fears. The harmony of their laughter resonated not just within the walls of her home but echoed in her heart, reminding her of the warmth that blooms from companionship. In the quiet sanctuary of her living room, Eleanor realized that their partnership had already cultivated a profound understanding. Surrounded by art and memories, she felt ready to embrace the unwritten chapters ahead, a dance of vulnerability, love, and the sweet anticipation of the unknown. As laughter faded into the evening, she drew strength from Harold's steadfast presence. Together, they would compose a symphony filled with compassion, acceptance, and grace, allowing their dreams and hearts to flourish side by side. In that moment, amidst the daisies and melodies of hope, Eleanor found harmony in the most unexpected places, and with it, the courage to embrace the journey ahead. A village united. The sun rose over Willowbrook, casting a soft morning light that danced upon the daisies in Eleanor's garden, promising a day filled with possibility. After the emotional revelations shared with Harold, Eleanor felt a glow of warmth illuminating her path. Still, she was aware that their life-changing news would soon ripple through the village, a community that had wrestled with her past and held close its traditions. Determined not to shy away from the whispers and potential judgment, Eleanor summoned her courage and resolved to face this new chapter head-on. She and Harold spent the morning devising a plan to announce her pregnancy to their friends and neighbors. As they brewed coffee in Eleanor's cozy kitchen, she felt both excitement and fear mingle in the air like delicate perfume. "We could host a small gathering," Harold suggested, his hazel eyes steady with a determination that bolstered her resolve. "Invite the people you trust most, those who have supported you through thick and thin." Eleanor liked the idea. It felt proactive. "A celebration of sorts, then," she mused aloud. "Marking the new journey in our lives, and perhaps even a way to invite the community in?" "Exactly," Harold encouraged. "It'll show them that you're not retreating into solitude but rather embracing what comes next, with joy." By midday, they had transformed her living room into a welcoming space filled with flowers, soft candles, and the aroma of baking bread wafting from the kitchen. With every arrangement, Eleanor felt a surge of hope. A part of her believed that acceptance and understanding might blossom in this gathering. As guests began to arrive, Eleanor welcomed each neighbor, catching snippets of laughter mingling with the gentle hum of conversation. It felt different this time. She was no longer the widow shrouded in grief, but a woman standing firmly between her past and a promising future. Eventually, the room was filled with familiar faces. The gentle widow Nellie from down the lane, tall and warm-hearted Pete who ran the village bakery, and many others whose lives were woven into the fabric of her days. Harold moved gracefully through the crowd, sharing stories and laughter, making everyone feel seen and cherished. Eleanor felt a rush of gratitude as her friends celebrated the spirit of togetherness. Yet, as the vibrant chatter enveloped her, she sensed a bubble of anxiety brewing just beneath the surface. What if the moment came to reveal her news and the silence that followed felt like a heavy shroud? Just then, the clock chimed, and Harold clinked his fork gently against a glass, drawing everyone's attention. "If I could have your attention, please." Harold's voice resonated confidently, cutting through the noise. "I'd like to say a few words." Eleanor's heart raced as she watched Harold step forward, the light catching his features. "Thank you all for being here today. It means so much to Eleanor and me, coming together as a community to share in new beginnings." He paused, glancing over at Eleanor, whose heart fluttered with appreciation. Some of you may know that Eleanor has been through quite a journey since the loss of her husband, but she has found joy and hope again. Eleanor's breath caught in her throat, and the room grew quiet as anticipation hung in the air. "Eleanor is going to have a baby," Harold announced, joy radiating from him as every pair of eyes turned toward her. A beautiful, remarkable miracle. The room held its breath for a moment, and then a chorus of reactions erupted. Laughter bubbled, cheers rang out, and warm words of congratulations enveloped Eleanor like a soft embrace. The initial shock quickly transformed into joy, and the clapping echoed louder than any whisper of doubt. Eleanor's heart swelled with emotion, tears pricking at the corners of her eyes. Slowly, she stepped forward, embracing the warmth and excitement. "Thank you, everyone," she managed, her voice slightly trembling. "This is a whirlwind for me as well, but I want you all to know how grateful I am for your support, your love, and your acceptance." Nellie was the first to step forward, pulling Eleanor into a tight embrace. "A baby is a blessing, dear. One that your late husband would have cherished, and so will we all." As more friends came to express their happiness, Eleanor felt a wave of relief wash over her. She realized that unity and joy had bridged the gap she had feared would divide her from the community. The essence of love, a village united, had warmed her heart. As the gathering carried on into the evening, Harold took charge of the storytelling, filling the room with laughter as he animatedly recounted humorous tales from his travels. The atmosphere became electric, every shared smile and chuckle fueling the spirit of connection that had blossomed in the wake of the announcement. As night fell, the garden twinkled with fairy lights, reflecting the warmth of the hearts that had gathered in solidarity. Eleanor stood beside Harold as they watched their friends mingle and enjoy the evening, an undeniable current of joy flowing through the air. "Look at them," Eleanor said softly, her eyes glistening with renewed hope. "This community knows how to come together even in the most unexpected moments." Harold slipped his hand into hers, squeezing gently. "It's a testament to the love that binds us all together. And now we have the chance to create new memories. Not just you, Eleanor, but us together." In that moment, surrounded by laughter, kindness, and a united spirit, Eleanor felt that perhaps this journey into motherhood would not be as daunting as she once feared. Love would shield her from doubt, and the village that had scratched the surface of her heart was now a steadfast foundation of support. As the evening wore on, Eleanor's heart brimmed with gratitude. In the arms of community and friendship, she felt ready to embrace the adventure ahead, a path illuminated by love, laughter, and the promise of new beginnings. The whispers of change had truly transformed into a vibrant chorus, singing a tune of unity and acceptance that resonated deep within her soul. New beginnings. The 4th month of Eleanor's pregnancy arrived with vibrant splashes of color throughout Willowbrook, and Eleanor found herself in a giddy state of anticipation. Her garden glowed with blooming flowers, and each sunlit day felt like a reminder that life was manifesting in delightful ways. With every passing week, Eleanor embraced her growing belly while cultivating an even deeper bond with Harold. Their world had shifted, and she was learning to navigate each tender moment with joy and gratitude. Every day brought unmistakable changes: her body, her thoughts, her responsibilities. Eleanor often caught herself daydreaming about the little one nestled within her, contemplating their future and the kind of mother she aspired to be. Those dreams filled her with enthusiasm but also a sprinkle of fear. Could she truly face the challenges ahead? One crisp morning, Eleanor sat on her porch with her sketchbook, gazing out over her garden as the sunlight filtered through the leaves. Harold joined her, bringing along a basket filled with fresh pastries from Pete's bakery, a thoughtful gesture that made her heart flutter. He set the basket down and slid into the chair beside her, a warm smile on his face. "Perfect day for a picnic, wouldn't you say?" he asked, his eyes twinkling with mischief. "We could ravage these delights and discuss baby names." "Baby names?" Eleanor chuckled, her cheeks warming at the thought. "Isn't it a bit early for that?" "Not at all," he replied playfully, contrasting the seriousness of the topic. "Trust me, start early, and you'll have an arsenal to choose from by the time they arrive." She laughed, looking down at her burgeoning belly. "All right then, what do you suggest? Something classic or adventurous?" They navigated through a delightful morning filled with whimsical combinations. Lydia for classic, Paxton for something more adventurous, and as the sun cast playful shadows, their conversations felt light yet meaningful. With every laugh, every idea shared, Eleanor's heart expanded, grounding her in the reality that they were not only building a family together but beginning an extraordinary partnership. Once they finished the pastry basket, Harold leaned in closer, suddenly serious. "Eleanor," he said, his voice soft, "what are you most excited about as you think about the baby's arrival?" The question caught Eleanor by surprise, but it ignited a passionate response in her. "I'm looking forward to holding our child for the first time, the moment everything changes and I see their little face. It's like the culmination of every dream and hope I've held close. I can only imagine how much love will overflow in that moment." "Beautiful," he said, his expression one of admiration. "And what are your fears, if you don't mind me asking?" Reflecting on his words, Eleanor felt a mixture of vulnerability and honesty emerging. "I fear that I won't measure up to the expectations of motherhood, that I won't know how to provide everything they need. This little one is coming into a world where I'm still figuring it all out." "None of us have it all figured out," Harold reassured her, his gaze unwavering. "Every mother navigates this journey in her own way, and love is often the greatest guide. You'll learn as you go, just like the rest of us." Eleanor smiled, buoyed by his sincerity. "You make it sound so simple." "Perhaps," he teased, "the secret is that it's not about perfection but about being there, showing up for the child with an open heart." As they talked, Eleanor felt a warmth enveloping her, an assurance that she wasn't alone in this undertaking. Harold's unwavering support sparked hope, and she found herself leaning into the emotions surrounding their shared journey. It was comforting to know that they would face the challenges together, uniting their strengths in this new adventure. Later that week, Eleanor decided to attend a parenting class being offered at the community center. Although she felt slightly apprehensive at the thought of sharing experiences with other expectant mothers, the idea of connecting with others in similar situations intrigued her. Harold encouraged her to go, offering to accompany her. "Consider it a baby boot camp," he joked. "I'll be your cheerleader." Arriving at the center, the familiar sight of the gathering place evoked memories of laughter, friendship, and the blossoming community that had embraced her journey. Nervously adjusting her hair, Eleanor took a deep breath. As they stepped inside, she was greeted by an array of expectant mothers gathered in supportive circles, their eyes sparkling with curiosity. The facilitator introduced the session, inviting everyone to share their names, due dates, and fears. As introductions unfolded, Eleanor listened intently to their stories, realizing she wasn't alone in her worries. Each woman painted a portrait of vulnerability and hope, echoing the sentiments Eleanor had felt all along. When it came Eleanor's turn, her heart raced, but she drew strength from Harold's reassuring grip on her hand. "I'm Eleanor," she began, her voice steady despite her nerves. "I'm due in a few months, and I'm excited yet terrified about becoming a mother once again." A chorus of understanding laughter swept through the room. The other women nodded, voices rising in support and camaraderie. Suddenly, Eleanor realized she was bonding not only with them but also reclaiming pieces of herself she had tucked away since her late husband's passing. With every shared story, with each smile exchanged, the weight of her fears transformed into realization. New beginnings were already unfolding. As the session progressed, the conversations grew richer, fueled by laughter and shared experiences. They discussed prenatal care, preparations for arrival, and even the nitty-gritty of diapering techniques. Harold chimed in with humor whenever possible, easing Eleanor's tension and showcasing the connection they had cultivated. By the time the class ended, Eleanor felt invigorated. A sense of belonging blossomed within her, a newfound understanding that motherhood was a journey best embarked upon with community at its side. Together, they would face challenges, discover triumphs, and shape lasting connections as they ventured into this shared chapter of life. As they walked home hand in hand, Eleanor turned to Harold, her eyes gleaming with excitement. "I can't believe I participated in that. It was transformative." Harold grinned. You were incredible, and those women are lucky to have you in their circle." Eleanor felt the warmth of his words wrap around her, grounding her courage as they took these steps toward parenting together. In the depths of her heart, she realized that within the uncertainties lay infinite possibilities. New beginnings were unfolding, colored by love, support, and newfound determination, paving the way for a beautiful chapter filled with hope. With every conversation shared, every laugh exchanged, and every heartbeat felt, Eleanor understood that she was not embarking on this journey alone. Together with Harold and the vibrant community of Willowbrook, they would embrace the future, one filled with love, laughter, and boundless joy. Did you enjoy this video? If so, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to join us for more amazing stories every day. Here at Daily Anything History, there's always something new to discover. See you in the next video.